This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi
Good
Jay.
morning.
Hi Ritu. So we will wait for 2 more minutes for others to join and then we'll start our discussion. So we'll wait for 2 more minutes for the other learners to join and then we'll start our discussion. Once again, welcome everyone. Welcome to Isha Training Solutions. Myself, Saravanan Srinivasan. So I have close to 13 years of experience in this field. So I know various tools. I work with various technology and I work with multiple customers. So what we are going to do, we are going to learn performance engineering concept because now everywhere everybody is expecting you to do performance engineering. Yes, we are already doing performance testing, but instead of only say like I'm going to do only testing, if you are saying I'll do engineering part of it, that is a real good thing what customers are expecting. So what we are going to focus in this course journey, we are going to focus on performance engineering concepts. Okay, performance engineering concepts. Instead of only saying like I'm going to do testing, now we are going to say I'm going to provide answer for your problem statement. So that's where performance engineering concept becoming very famous. So without wasting further time, what will I do? I'll quickly show you the course content. Okay, course content. What we are going to learn for this session. Okay. First of all, performance engineering introduction. Performance engineering introduction, because first we should get a proper clarity of what we are going to learn. Okay. A proper clarity of what we are going to learn. So because performance testing is what, performance engineering is what, that clarity we should have. Okay, so for that what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain introduction to performance engineering and then performance engineering life cycle. Any activity that you do, okay, say like even you are doing a development activity, software development life cycle. If you are doing a basic testing, software testing life cycle. If you are doing performance testing life cycle. So now we are going to learn performance engineering. So performance engineering life cycle. So like that, we are going to learn the engineering life cycle activity. What are all the activities that you have to perform right from the beginning till the end. Okay, till the end, we have to focus on what we are going to learn. Okay, and then activities performed by performance engineers. That is also very important because it is not a single activity, it is a collection of activities. Say something you are focusing on UI layer, something you are focusing on app layer, something you are focusing on DB layer, something you are focusing on infrastructure layer. Like that, across the place you can focus on. Across the place you can show your interaction. Okay, you can do something on UI layer, something on app layer, something on DB layer, something on infrastructure layer. Across the layer you can focus. That is how these activities performed by performance engineer comes into the picture. Okay, so that also we are going to learn, because from that list only you are going to understand these are the bare minimum things I have to learn, so that I wanted to do the performance engineering activity. Performance engineering activity. So introduction part, we are going to clearly understand what is performance testing, what is performance engineering, what are all the life cycle activities that are there, and what performance engineer has to perform. So all those things we are going to cover it in the introduction part. Okay, I'll take a pause here. Any question guys still?
No, it's clear.
So the next topic, what we are going to discuss is actually your Java performance engineering concepts. Java performance engineering concepts. Okay, so because everywhere, any job description, any interview discussion that you are doing, everywhere people are expecting you to do something on Java performance engineering concept. So that is what we are going to focus on. Okay, the first primary focus, any Java things that you are focusing on, first primary thing would be JVM architecture understanding. JVM architecture understanding. Okay, so this will give you idea. I mean, inside JVM, what is actually happening? Inside JVM, what are all the components are there? Each component, what is actually performing? Okay, so memory, where it is actually dealing with, where the execution is actually happening, like that. If you wanted to get the understanding, you can learn about JVM architecture, that we are going to discuss in a detailed way. Okay, and then JVM performance monitoring. That is very important, right? Because so say like a small program that you are running, a small Java program that you are running, as per the flow, what will happen? Any Java program, it will use JVM to execute it. Java virtual machine. Okay, Java virtual machine through which only your Java program is actually going to execute. While doing that execution, so inside that, what is happening with respect to heap memory, what is happening with respect to thread, what is happening with respect to garbage collection. So all those things we have to monitor. All those things we have to monitor inside the JVM. What is happening with respect to heap? What is happening with respect to thread? What is happening with respect to garbage collection? We have to understand it. For that, we need monitoring, JVM monitoring. Okay. So, I mean, those who are attending interview and then they usually come and provide their experience with me. So every time they are asking this question. I mean, this JVM monitoring things. Every interviewer they are asking. That is what the usual feedback that I'm receiving. So, which means that we'll also learn this concept in a detailed way, so that you will be in a position to explain each and every concept. Okay. So what are all the things we are going to do and how we are going to do JVM monitoring? What are all the things that we are going to do? How we are going to do? So there are two utility tools which is inside your JDK folder. Inside your JDK folder, there are two utility tools are there. One is JVisual VM, another one is JConsole. Two utility tools are there, JVisual VM and JConsole. So what we are going to do, we are going to use these two tools and we are going to learn heap analysis, thread analysis. Heap analysis and thread analysis. To an extent, I'll also explain the garbage collection analysis. Okay, garbage collection analysis. So with the real world example, I mean, we are having one sample application. I'll explain how to deploy that sample application in each of your local machine. In each of your local machine, how to deploy that sample application. And using that sample application, we are going to learn every concept. Every concept we are going to learn using that sample application. So we are going to see how to deploy that, how to use that application for your monitoring. That is what we are going to. So using JVisual VM and JConsole tool, you are going to do this activity. You are going to do this activity. So next one, the same JVM monitoring, we are going to do using one more commercial tool called YourKit Java Profiler, which is one more commercial tool called YourKit Java Profiler. YourKit Java Profiler. Okay, so that also we are going to learn in a detailed way, because in certain organization, certain customer, if they are already having YourKit Java Profiler, you should be in a position to use that tool, right? So that is the reason we are learning a commercial solution for the JVM monitoring as well. Okay, two open source utility level tool and one commercial tool we are going to learn. Okay, learning tool is actually a value add, right? Everywhere you can add it in your resume. You can say like, I know this tool, I know this utility tool, like that you can explain to the interviewer, right? So basically these tools are very, very important when you are trying to learn performance engineering concepts. Okay, so when you are doing this activity, there is one more thing that you are going to do, which is actually your JVM heap structure understanding. JVM heap structure. Okay, heap structure means, I mean, inside that, what does actually happen? Inside that, what does actually happen? There is something called young generation. There is something called old generation. Okay, something called young generation, something called old generation. These two are called as heap memory. Okay, in Java, JVM, young generation and old generation is actually called as heap memory. Okay, so inside that, what are all the things that are happening? I'm going to explain with the picture. Okay, so I'll draw a picture and I'll show you how the memory is actually allocated, how the memory is actually promoted, how minor GC is actually happening, how major GC that is actually happening, like that. We are going to have a detailed understanding of your garbage collection. That is very important, guys, because when sometimes what will happen, customer will ask you to do garbage collection analysis. Okay, garbage collection analysis. So in that time, this explanation will be very, very useful, because you should know what is happening in your heap memory, how memory is actually allocated in young generation, how memory is actually promoted to your old generation, how many minor GC that are happening, how many major GC that are happening, how much of a time it is taken for minor GC, how much of a time it is actually taken for major GC, is it under the normal range or is it actually having a problem, like that. You are going to do the analysis. You are going to do the analysis. That explanation we are going to see in this topic. In this topic, we are going to learn in a detailed way garbage collection. I'll take a pause here. Any question, please?
Sir, any paid tools that is the Dynatrace or any other tools we will be discussing by the end?
Yes, Aditya. If you see down, like, you will have Dynatrace. Look at here. Dynatrace is here.
Okay, fine, fine.
Yeah. So coming back to the original flow. Yeah. So here, as I mentioned, we are going to learn about minor GC, major GC, full GC like that, and there is one more thing called heap setting. Heap setting. Okay. I mean, those who are already working in Jmeter tool, maybe you guys already worked on this, but everybody should know like how to configure your min size and max size, XMS and then XMX value. How to configure your min size and max size value. That is actually very important because based on your heap setting only, your minor GC, major GC is going to happen. Based on the heap setting only, the time taken for the minor GC and major GC is also decided. So we have to learn that. So we are going to cover that as well. And there are different types of garbage collections. Different types of garbage collections. Okay. What are all the different types we are going to learn? Serial garbage collection, parallel garbage collector, concurrent mark and sweep collector, and then G1 GC, garbage first, garbage collector. So all these things we are going to learn with example. Why we have to choose this? What application that are preferably using these garbage collection? Okay, so even I don't know how many of them checked this before. Okay, say like I'm going to my Jmeter folder. I'm going to my Jmeter folder. I'm just opening Jmeter dot batch Jmeter.batch file, okay, which is a file used to open your Jmeter, right? So Jmeter.batch file, if I go, so look at here, it is actually using G1 GC. Your Jmeter is actually using G1 GC. Okay, so this is very important because everywhere, whenever you are doing any activity, the first and foremost thing what you have to understand, what is actually happening because of the selection of your garbage collection. Is there any improvement in your garbage collection? That is what the first and foremost understanding you are going to get. So for that, what we are going to learn, we are going to learn serial garbage collector, parallel garbage collector, concurrent mark and sweep garbage collector, G1 garbage collector, and then so JVM thread pooling concepts. That is also very important, right? Because say I am assigning a task. I mean, assigning a task in the sense like I'm performing a task in the application. How the task is actually assigned to a thread pool, how the activity is actually completed, all those things we are going to learn. All those things we are going to learn. So in that learning, we are going to learn about what is core pool size, what is bounded queue, unbounded queue, what is max pool size, like that. We are going to learn certain concepts also because that is very important. So when you are doing the thread pooling implementation for your application, which one you have to focus on? That also we are learning in this session. Okay, and then and then we are going to learn about JDBC connection pooling. JDBC connection pooling. Okay, so in database, how the JDBC connection pooling is actually working, right? That understanding also we are going to do. Next one is very important concept, which is actually your thread dump analysis. JVM thread dump analysis. Because everywhere this question is actually coming. Everywhere you have to answer this question. So first we should know what is thread dump. What is thread dump? Taking the thread snapshot during the problematic situation. Okay, thread dump means where there is a problem, that time you are taking the snapshot of the threads that are running at that moment. snapshot of threads that are running at that moment. So which means that thread dump you are taking and you are going to analyze inside the thread dump what is actually happening. Inside the thread dump, what is actually happening. Okay. So during that activity, first you should know the life cycle of the threads, right? That is also important. Any interview, they'll also ask the thread life cycle also. I mean, what is new thread, runnable thread, waiting threads, timed waiting threads, blocked threads, terminated threads, like that. Life cycle also you should know. Life cycle also you should know. Then only you can comment on whether the thread is actually normal or whether the thread is actually facing any problem. Okay, for that you should know the life cycle, thread life cycle you should have it. Okay, and then various thread dump tools, okay, utility tools that are available in the JDK folder, right? Or external tools that are available. Even AppDynamics is actually available to take a thread dump. Okay, so like that, what are all the options that are available? Even your JVisual VM is there. Okay, so all those utility tool level, and then we are going to capture the thread dump as well. Okay, how to capture the thread dump. So we are going to learn what are all the different tools that are available and how we are going to capture it in different ways. Not only capturing, we are going to learn the way to analyze the thread dump, how to analyze it. Okay, you have to read your stack trace. You have to read your stack trace and then analyze, is there a problem or what? Is it a blocked thread or is it a waiting thread? Is it a runnable thread? Why it is actually blocked for a longer period of time? Why it is actually waiting for a longer period of time? Why it is actually runnable for a longer period of time? Like that, we are going to analyze it. We are going to analyze it. Based on that, we are going to understand the thread is actually normal or thread is actually facing a problem or what. So that analysis also we are going to do with the real world example. With the real world example, we are going to learn this. I'll take a pause here. Any question guys still now? Anybody have any question?
I have a question here.
Yes.
Yeah. So we specifically talked about JVM and like understanding the Java performance architecture. I'm not sure whether my question is right or not, but isn't it will be true for the application developed on Java platform? How about the application that has been developed on other platform like .NET? So will this be usable over there as well?
See, partial information would be useful because fundamental concepts are concepts only. But there are technical things, there are terms and terminology which are specific to those as well. And even I'm planning to implement a .NET flavor also here, a small flavor into this course content as well. But earlier, what happened? We had a separate course running in Isha Training Solution itself. Okay, separate .NET Performance Engineering. So that is the reason we did not have a flavor of .NET into this course content. So I think we started receiving a good amount of feedback from the learners. So we are planning to have at least few concepts related to .NET as well. Ravi. So we'll discuss that, no problem. If you are more keen on that, I'll try to add one or two topics in this course journey itself.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So not only thread dump analysis we are going to learn, actually we are going to learn heap dump analysis also. Heap dump. Okay, what is heap dump? Taking the heap snapshot during the problematic situation. Taking the heap snapshot during the problematic situation. Okay, and we are also going to check out like what are all the different tools that are available to take the heap dump, and we are going to capture the heap dump, and we are going to learn how to analyze the heap dump, because we wanted to understand what is actually happening in the heap dump, which is actually contributing in more memory, which is actually taking more time, Like that, we are going to do our analysis using the heap dump, whatever the heap dump that we are capturing, right? Through that, we are going to learn. Through that, we are going to learn. Okay. So we are going to say like which are all the top 10 biggest objects or which are contributing to more memory. If it is contributing to more memory, which is actually creating more response time or what like that, we are going to do our investigation using the heap dump analysis. Heap dump analysis. So thread dump analysis, heap dump analysis. Okay, this heap dump analysis, the heap dump capture feature is actually available in Dynatrace. Okay, so which means that you can use that tool for your heap dump capture as well. Okay, and then next very important topic is your garbage collection analysis, because that is also important. That is also important because so say like your infrastructure team is actually collecting a GC log, and then if they are sharing that information to you, example, okay, you should be in a position to analyze the GC log and understand what is actually happening, how much minor GC that is actually happening, how much major GC that is actually happening, or how much of a time that is actually taken for your minor GC, how much of a time that is actually taken for your major GC, like that. You should be in a position to analyze, and frequent minor GC is a problem, frequent major GC is actually a problem. So you are going to analyze that as well. So for that, what you have to do, first you need to configure the JVM argument to capture the GC log. Okay, GC log you are going to analyze, it means you should capture the GC log using the JVM argument that you are going to add inside your application. And then we can analyze it and we can tell them like what are all the techniques. Either you manually analyze it or through the tool. There is an online utility tool called GCEC. There is an online utility tool called GCEC. Through that tool, how we are going to analyze. And one more tool is there called GC Viewer. So using the tool, how we are going to analyze it. So all those things we are going to learn. So here also in heap dump and thread dump also, I am going to show you there are two important tools, online tool, which is actually, one is actually fastthread.io. Fastthread.io, which is actually the tool available through which you can easily analyze your thread dumps. Okay. And then your heap analysis also you can do it on the online utility tool as well. Heap analyzer. Okay. So through that you can analyze it. So now we are going to learn about out of memory or memory leak. Okay, because that is also interview question, right? Like what is out of memory, what is your memory leak, what are all the different types of out of memory error that are there. So how to overcome those error messages, like that we are going to learn the out of memory error analysis. So java.lang. Out of memory error, java heap space, java.lang. Out of memory error, your permgen space, like that. Lot of error messages are there. So each and every error messages, what it is actually representing and how to overcome that out of memory error, all those explanation we are going to discuss in this section. So till here what we are doing in an extensive detailed way, we are learning the Java performance engineering concepts. Heap dump, thread dump, garbage collection, all those things we are going to learn it in a detailed way. So we don't want to only focus on the app layer alone, right? Because app layer alone is not your application. There are other spaces also there, right? So what I did it, I added certain other topics so that it will be the complete coverage, 360-degree we wanted to cover it. We wanted to have everywhere the performance engineering aspect to be incorporated, right? So that is the reason we added the infrastructure monitoring concepts also, because right now that is also a problem. Most of the performance testers, they are not focusing on infrastructure level data. So what I wanted to do, we should focus on that layer also. Okay, because nowadays if you are asking this question to performance testers, what they are saying, no, there is a separate team available, I don't know how to do it, like that they are saying. So you should know, as a performance tester or performance engineer, you should know what is that actually happening. So we are going to learn a Windows server concepts and then the Linux server concepts as well. Both the things we are going to learn how to do the monitoring. How to do the monitoring. So Windows Server, the very famous concept called performance monitor. Okay, Perfmon we are going to learn, and then there are few critical metrics we are focusing on. Swapping means what, paging means what, or page false means what, like that. We are going to learn certain matrices. Okay, and then we are going to collect your metric in Perfmon. There is a option called data collector set. There is an option called data collector set. In that data collector set, you are going to add it, and then you are going to do the analysis. That also we are going to focus on. And the same thing similarly in Linux server also, there are utility commands are there. One is vmstat, netstat, iostat, top, all those things, and there is one more tool called nmon utility tool. Okay, so this tool is very important, so we are going to learn that tool also, utility tool nmon. Using that, you are going to capture the CPU, capture the memory, capture the disk utilization metrics, and how we are going to analyze it, and how we are going to find the real world problem. That also we are going to discuss. So basically, in Windows Server Perfmon, Linux server side, there are utility tools and also nmon. So these are the things that we are going to learn with respect to the infrastructure monitoring, because not only tool level metric, I mean, simply don't provide your performance testing tool level metric. That is not going to be useful, right? So you should focus on other layers as well. So that's the reason we are focusing on what? Linux monitoring or the Windows monitoring also, so that you are going to give the collective information. Your tool level metric, or your front end level metric, your DB level metric, your infrastructure level metric, like that, you are going to give them collective information, so that the end user will get the complete information. Okay, that is what we are doing it. I'll take a pass here. Any question, please?
So this comes under on-premise monitoring. Suppose the application is on cloud, so then this won't be applicable, right?
No, cloud also, that is the same Windows server, the same Linux server, right? So you can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So once after that, what we planned is that at least we wanted to have one database flavor into it, because we covered Java layer, we covered infrastructure layer, and we wanted to have one database layer to be covered. So what we planned, the very famous database, which is actually the Oracle DB, right? So we added one database monitoring flavor, which is actually Oracle DB. So in Oracle DB, you have a inbuilt capability, which is actually your AWR report, okay, automatic workload repository, AWR report, and then ADDM report. So we are going to discuss in detail about AWR report and ADDM report, and using that, how we are going to identify your performance bottleneck in the Oracle DB. That also we are going to discuss in a detailed way using the Oracle DB report. Okay, so that is what we are going to learn in this section. So everywhere people will ask this AWR report like that. So we are going to learn that in a detailed way, so that you are also in a position to explain, is there any problem in your DB or what. Okay, yesterday also one learner who came and shared his experience with me. They mentioned, like, during the interview, the interviewer asked about AWR reports. What are all the key metrics that you will monitor? How will you identify, is there any problem in the DB or what? What are all the key metrics that you will monitor, like that? They asked all the questions, it seems. So we are going to discuss about AWR reports as well. Okay, and then the next layer, which is nobody is actually focusing on, actually your client side performance. Okay, because your performance testing tools is not providing the client side response time, it is not providing your browser layer number, it is not providing, right? It is only providing your server level number. So client side monitoring also we are going to focus on. We are going to understand the what is you should know what is your objective, right? Front end performance metrics means what, common client-side problem, what is actually happening, and then how your browser is actually rendering in what concepts, and then what are all the tools that are used to monitor your client-side performance. Like that, we are going to discuss in a detailed way. These three tools are very, very famous. I hope everybody already aware of it. These tools are very, very famous in the market. We are going to learn each and every tool, and using the tool, what are all the metrics? Say like time to first byte, time to interactive, first visual change, on load time, full load time, largest contentful paint, total blocking time, cumulative layout shift, like that. Lot of key matrices that are there. We are going to learn those things because say when we are talking about these things, customer will be very, very happy because they are expecting something and you are in a position to answer to their problem statement. So we are going to learn that in a detailed way so that you can convince your customer. So the client side metric also you can provide. And then profiling, which is very, very important. Code profile. Okay. So whenever you are talking about engineering concepts, profiling is all the way comes into the picture. So we are going to learn about code profiling. In that, we are going to learn one important tool called JProfiler. How to use that? What are all the monitoring activity that you will do using the JProfiler? All those things we are going to discuss. And then very, very important tool, APM tool in the market, which is actually your Dynatrace tool, we are going to discuss. Okay, because if you go and see any job description or anywhere, if you go, definitely one APM tool will be there. So the two Dynatrace is becoming very, very famous now in the market. So we wanted to learn that tool first. So that is the reason we added Dynatrace tool in this list. So we are going to learn the key concepts of Dynatrace tool along with the real world example. So we are going to learn. Actually saying in Isha, there is a separate section that is there extensively learning Dynatrace. But here, once we are started discussing about the engineering concepts, right, we don't want to miss anything. So we added this flavor also because we added one profiling tool, we added utility tool. So we wanted to add APM tool flavor also. That is the reason we added this. So we are going to learn in a detailed way about the Dynatrace APM tool. And then how to analyze your log, production log, and then what are all the usual problem comes with respect to CPU, with respect to memory, with respect to response time. That also we are going to learn because so in interview, mostly this question is actually coming, right? They'll ask like, what are all the problems that you faced? What are all the usual problems that we are facing in CPU side, memory side, response time level side, like that? They are asking this question. So if you are learning these if you are learning these problem statements, it is easy for you because you can tell them like these are the problem statements that are available. These are the problem that I faced. This is how they resolve the problem. Like that, you can explain to them. So that explanation is also available. I'll take a pass here. Any question, guys, till now? Yeah. So, guys, those who wanted to enroll for this course, so this is the number, Kumar sir number. I'm copy pasting this number in the chat. Okay, this is Kumar sir number. Kumar. Okay, I'm pasting it in the chat, and I'm also pasting it here also. Okay. Okay, this is Kumar sir number 8019952427. Okay, 8019952427. Okay, so this is Kumar sir number. You can reach out to Kumar sir for any further information. I mean, course content, course timing, or commercial related discussion. Anything that you wanted to discuss, you can discuss with Kumar sir. Okay, so this is actually a weekday session, Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday, we are going to learn the performance engineering concept. So as you all know, this time slot 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Indian time, IST time, correspondingly in other locations. Okay, so 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. So I think you can go through here. Okay, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. IST. Correspondingly in other locations. Okay, so you can do the conversion. So this is actually a weekday session. Every day we'll record the session. Every day we'll record the session, and we'll share the video to you using the YouTube playlist URL. YouTube playlist URL. So those videos you are going to have for lifetime access. Lifetime access. Okay. You can watch it any number of time, any time, even after the completion of the course, because that is your video. You are going to have it for lifetime access. So this is actually 25 hours of a session. 2-5. Okay, 25 hours of a session. Every day, one hour we are going to take it, like 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Every day, one hour, 25 hours of a session we are going to have it. So Monday to Friday is a uh, uh, Saturday, Sunday holiday. Monday to Friday we are going to have the session. So each and everything we are going to, I mean, the sample application or the software or the documents, we are going to share it through Google Drive. So you guys can download it, set up everything in your machine, also learn everything in the real world manner. Okay. So that also we are going to do, and these videos you are going to have a lifetime access. Any question, Kestin?
Yes, I
Sir,
have.
I have
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Dipti.
uh yeah, how much knowledge of Jmeter is required for this, because I am new to Jmeter, so I just want to ask.
See, this course is designed to have advanced knowledge from the performance testing to performance engineering also, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
don't really focus on Jmeter. Jmeter is very, I mean, a few percentage only you are focused on Jmeter here. Remaining all is actually your conceptual understanding, how you are going to focus on the problem statement, like that only the discussion will be. So yes, you can use Jmeter, because in my course also in certain place I use Jmeter to create traffic. I'm not going to do any testing with Jmeter. I'm going to use Jmeter to create traffic. Say like 10 user load, 50 user load, like that, to create traffic. I'm going to use it. That also you don't require knowledge and all, because I'm going to share the sample script to you. Okay. And you are going to use the Jmeter tool to trigger the load. That is the bare minimum understanding you should have it in the Jmeter. Other than that, still without Jmeter also you can still learn this course. Because our focus is not on the Jmeter, our focus is only to create the traffic using the Jmeter. That's how we are going to learn this. Okay.
Okay, and you said it's 25 hours session, so by when you're going to kick off this complete session? From
Tomorrow is the day one.
Okay, tomorrow is the day one. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, tomorrow is the day one. Don't miss it, because definitely a lot of things we are discussing, lot of technical jargons and things that we are discussing. So it's good that you have a continuous learning. So tomorrow is the day one. We are going to have that.
Okay.
And Sarvanan, this will be like 1 hour every day. So like 25 weekdays are going to be occupied. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, Ravi. Yeah.
Okay. Another question, like I come from a like completely non-performance engineering or non-performance testing background. Just have an idea of functional testing.
No
So,
problem. No problem.
um,
So see, our discussion always, I'm not going to straight away jump into the ocean. So what will I do? Always I'll give the first introduction about each and everything, and then only I'll explain the topic. So once you are learning this, definitely your interest will be more in learning the performance testing concepts also. Definitely that will come. Okay, because that's how the course is actually designed. So what you can do, maybe once we are doing this, you can also parallelly see your performance testing fundamentals. Okay, not a detailed learning, the fundamental things like hits per second means what, throughput means what, or request means what, response means what, like that. A basic understanding, if you are having it, that will also value add. Okay, that is actually a value add if you are doing. But other than that, our course is still you can learn, because that's how the course is actually designed. From the fundamental only we are starting everything. It is not about performance testers to becoming performance engineer. Even a college passed out student, how they become a performance engineer. That is what the focus of this course content itself. So no problem for you. You can easily understand it. And if there is any real question, either you ask in the session itself, or if you feel like no, I feel like this is actually a silly question or something like that, no problem. Even after the session, you can connect with me. We'll discuss that. Okay.
Okay. Another question is like, what is the objective of this course? Like to clear the interview or like getting an understanding of the performance concept?
Both. Actually, what is actually happening?
But like, sorry to interrupt you, but in case I go for any interview at this point of time, anyone at least asks for like 4 or 5 years of experience in performance testing, which is, I mean, that is not attainable any way. Like unless I work in a performance engineering for 4 or 5 years, I won't have an experience. So how I'm going to fill up that gap, man?
Yeah.
How
See,
I'm going to justify?
that is how we are going to learn things, Ravi. The focus area is we are learning things in a detailed way, the performance engineering concepts and all. That will make you more confident to take the questions first. That is a primary thing we are learning this kind of course and all. Okay, so that will definitely make you comfortable to attend the interview. But rest of the things that you can manage. I mean, the gap things and all, because our course will definitely motivate you or make yourself comfortable in taking any questions. I mean, it is not about 4 years question, 8 year question and all. This is actually definitely will help you to crack the interviews and all. That's how every learner they are giving their feedback. Remaining things that you can focus on. Okay.
Mm, okay, and like unless until like like it takes time for grasp the learning unless until you work on a real time environment, you don't
I'm going
really
to,
get the concept.
I'm going
Theory
to
is one
explain
part
the
and the practical thing is
yeah.
another.
Yeah, I'm going to explain the real world example only. Okay, so see, we are discussing in a forum now. I cannot say you put a fake certificate of 4 years or 6 years or 8 years like that, right? I'm not supposed to tell that, right? So it's up to your confidence, because everybody in the industry they are actually doing that. If you go and ask anybody, they'll say 10 years performance testing. Who knows, they are doing a 10 years performance testing. They might have done 2 years, 3 years only. But I should not tell that to you and all, right? It's up to your decision making. You can decide what you are actually expected to do, but this course will definitely help you to go for the interview, crack the interview and all that. For sure it'll help you, but rest of the things it's your decision making. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, hello. Actually, I work for multiple projects, but I haven't got into the performance engineering side. So, with this session, will I be able to drill down in terms of when the test is run and test results have been gotten, uh, to drill down in real time completely? Could I able to
Yes.
do it confidently?
Yes,
I just want to
definitely.
have confidence.
Definitely it'll help
Uh,
you, because that is a primary focus area, right? Because what's happening when performance testers they are doing, they are nowadays they are only providing numbers, average response time, hits per
yeah.
second, put a error, like that they are giving the numbers. But you should know the reason for the numbers, right? Why, where it is actually happening, what for you are getting this number. That is the reason we are learning the engineering concepts, Meena. Okay, so that you can easily get down.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
okay, sir. Thank you.
yeah, sure. So those who wanted to enroll yourself for this course content, as I mentioned, you can reach out to Kumar sir. 80199524227 is number. You can reach out to Kumar sir. From tomorrow, we are going to have our day one session. Please enroll yourself. We don't want to miss any core concepts, core content that we are discussing. So enroll yourself for the continuous learning. Thanks each and every one of you who joined today for the evaluation. I mean, for the demo session. Thanks each and every one of you for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge and experience with you people. I'm going to definitely will just justify for whatever the things that you are expecting from us. So thanks for joining and have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.